I am having fun messing with BPM and pitch tonight. Very special set.
And KALX Live is where you are right now. It's where we are right now with Tricky FM, who just played an awesome live set. This is Feel Good Weird. Hello there, Tricky.
Hi. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you for being here. I'm going to fade out this jazz.
Nice.
Now it's your time. No, that was a great set. I was just introduced to your music through the Oakland scene from my friends at Cherub Dream Records.
Yes. Yeah. Shout out Cherub Dream Records.
Yeah, awesome new label.
Yeah. I'm really excited for all the Cherub Dream bands I feel like are coming up and doing really cool stuff, and I feel like even if I weren't a part of that community, it would be some of my favorite bands in the Bay Area for sure. Yeah,
I agree. Just clicking through on Bandcamp, I was like, this is a great collection.
Excellent discography.
Yeah, and you were part of that discography.
Yeah, I feel happy. Yeah.
Are you from the Bay Area?
I'm not. I'm from Pacific Northwest. I'm from Washington.
Okay, cool.
Then I moved out here for school, and then I moved to Austin, Texas on a whim. It's kind of going through my journey, and then I came back here.
Yeah, those are all I feel like that's a very musical journey. Very musical cities. Were you playing music from Washington to Austin to here? Did you get started more in the Bay Area?
I started kind of like teaching myself how to produce stuff on my computer when I lived here the first time. And then I honestly didn't start playing until I was in Austin. I probably played like 2 shows, and they were very, you're like, your first shows. Yeah. And then I moved back here, and then I really started becoming more active playing in the Bay Area scene only like maybe 2 years ago.
Okay, cool. Yeah. How do you feel the Bay Area scene compares, or what are your thoughts on it in general? Oh,
I really am enjoying it. I have been kind of surprised how I feel like I was accepted, not pretty quickly, but I just remember like I kind of was trying to find my place because I'm like a solo electronic artist, and Bay Area has a lot of bands, rock bands. But I remember I played a show at Golden Bowl with some bands, and I feel like Oakland rocker scene were pretty welcoming me with open arms. They were just like, who are you? And then we all played together, and here I am now.
I can see that. I feel like I've been to those shows in Oakland where you're like, the lineup is mostly bands, and you've got the one person that comes out with their board and everyone's just like, yes. And often that's my favorite person of the night.
I'm glad.
Yeah. So I was really excited to see your style of music and hear it. Like that was great. just, you want to like describe your setup so that people know like what were they hearing, what were you playing, how do you like, what's your process in making those songs?
Sure. So my setup is comprised of, I use a MacBook, which has Ableton 11 on it, and those mostly have like my backing tracks on them. I use an SP303 sampler, which is loaded with samples like from songs that kind of like add texture to tracks. And I kind of use them also to transition between tracks. I sing on my tracks, and I use a TC Helicon Mechanic 2 for like effects, and it's just like to use for echo, reverb, and some pitch correction. And then all of that runs into my personal mixer. So I can like control all of these instruments by myself. And then that all runs to the house. Yeah. Cool. One woman show.
Yeah. I know. I feel like if someone had just tuned in, they would have been. That was actually, I walked out and one of the other DJs who was hanging out in the front room was like, I can't believe that was just one person.
Oh, I'm glad.
Time. Yeah.
I definitely I probably have some kind of complex, honestly. Like when I started playing here and playing on bills with bands, I'm just like, I have to be as loud as the bands. I have to, but that's, not impossible, but I'm just like, I have to be loud also. And I feel like when I first started playing, I probably gave sound people a real headache because I'm always just like, louder, make it louder. But I think it's plenty loud. Yeah.
I know you said that about the lights too, where you were saying you wanted to fill the space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting, like trying to think about how to fill up space when you're one person. Like, there's another band, Cherie, on Cherub Dream that I was chatting with some Zach, and we were talking about, like, he was like, you probably know how I feel. Like, you're a project that doesn't have a drummer, so you try to think of ways how to take up space on the stage. And I didn't even notice that Cherie didn't have a drummer. I was like, wait, they don't have a drummer. They're so loud. But yeah, they were talking about also trying to like incorporate visuals or incorporate something to like take up space and like engage people when you're like when you don't have a drummer or something.
Yeah, that's just an interesting thing to think in general. Like in performance studies, space is such a part. Like when you like, oh, is this in a theater? Is this online? Is this here? Is this there? But I hadn't thought about it in that, like in the singular. If you're a person in that space, how do you like expand out? So that's very cool.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Shout out if you use Ableton. medicine. I know you understand. Take your medicine. I know you understand. If we could meet it now. Take your medicine. You never asked me if I feel better now. Take your medicine. I know you understand. If I could meet it now.
I have a deeper question.
Okay.
So I noticed that it said on your Bandcamp it was emotional computer core.
Yeah.
And I was wondering, like, do you feel like computers have feelings? And what are your feelings around the like AI being brought into music and computer feelings?
Oh, kind of spicy question. Asking artists about AI.
I know.
I'll be honest though. Do computers have feelings? I think that I think that technology is a tool that kind of just reflects humanity. So if people are like, people will complain about like social media, or people complain about like the way that technology behaves or something, and it's like it's literally a mirror of us. So if you're, and that can be used for, it just depends on what your intention is. So if I'm like a really emotional girl, I happen to have a computer. The computer is going to be like a vessel to transmit emotion through me. And I think also probably the same with AI. I know there's like a lot, maybe, I don't know what people will think if I say this, but I do also believe the same thing about AI. Like, I think it's a tool. I think it is a new technology that's going to like influence so much of our like content, how we consume our art, and then if we use it as a tool and to transmit our emotions and use it kind of as a mirror, I think it can create some really amazing stuff. So I think everything's a mirror. Everything's like another vessel to communicate, and I think that computers and technology is definitely included.
Yeah. Thinking of it as a mirror and a vessel is a really great answer. That's a cool way of thinking about it.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, because it is a touchy subject right now with AI. And I know especially in electronic music, like Holly Herndon, I think, had done that with where she like created an AI that she like works with. And it almost like, it's like the more like you humanize it, then it almost becomes like, okay. But yeah, thinking of it as your own vessel. But yeah, I just like that you said emotional computer core. I like feelings.
I know, me too. Yeah. I tried to think about how to categorize myself, and I was like, yeah, it is. I feel like there was a time where I tried to not identify too much with the computer, because if you're in a community of like bands and guitars and everything, and then I finally leaned in and was like, I play the computer.
Yeah.
It's computer core.
100%. Yeah. And sometimes like, yeah, it can be even more complex, or often it is even more complex because it's almost infinite.
It is infinite. That is why I like to use it. I feel like it is an infinite possibility of sounds that I can make. And I feel like it's, totally freeing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Super autonomous. Tricky FM. On KALX Berkeley with the SP303 and the MacBook. Shout out KALX Berkeley radio team. Michael Cruz is videoing me. It's called Love Redux.
I think I'm feeling sane. You know that I get sad. We get married soon and tell our friends and kiss every second. It's not like I don't have a conscience. You make me sick with your disinterest. And every second, and every round will feel like a replacement. Oh, you know you made me for a sucker. I want you, I love you, I want it, I like it. And again. I think I'm up again, I'm pressing on my sores, but I feel every second. I would never come second, and everybody would see it in a second. You know that I can't take it, I can't take it. And I take, and I take, and I take, and I take, and I take. Remember when my lip would break you? You broke my record. I'm walking by. It was so cute, so I felt it on. I got the redux. And when you put me down, you took me back again. You made a perfect reason. I know it takes too long, but then it all makes sense. That's how I found the redux. That's how I found the redux.
I'm transitioning into some of the music you've played for us. Wasn't there a performance years back? Was it Bjork who had like iPads
I think she
on stage?
did.
And I feel like that was one of the first times I saw someone like playing iPads. I don't think it really stuck.
I know. She's like, I have an idea.
There's like a bunch of
Like 20
iPads.
iPads.
Yeah. So
She would, innovative
Yeah.
queen. But yeah, totally valid instrument. She
Yeah.
made it an instrument. Yeah.
I'm going to make sure our CD player is awake because you did pick out some music in our KALX music library.
Yes.
You got to explore a bit,
I know.
our legendary library.
Amazing.
And you picked out some great stuff. What is the first song? We're going to now, Tricky, if you were just tuning in, this is KALX Live, hosted by Feel Good Weird. I'm here with Tricky FM from San Francisco, who just played a live set and is now going to do a little guest DJing.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, I'm just throwing you in.
Yeah, I'm down.
All right, so what is the first song that you picked out? The iPad Queen.
Yes, Miss iPad Queen. I feel like no surprise that I'm very influenced by Bjork, and I chose Tabula Rasa. And if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure Tabula Rasa means like bountiful cornucopia of many. And yeah, I just really like this track because, well, the whole concept of the album I really resonate with a lot. She talks a lot about like, I think the concept is like creating a matriarchy, and I think that Tabula Rasa is kind of, I feel like is almost feels like this call. She's like calling all of her children. She really says Tabula Rasa for all my children, and I feel like she really kind of is like manifesting or like calling like abundance and bounty in a place or in a space or an experience where maybe you feel scarce or limited because of who you are, your conditions. Yeah, great track.
All right, let's listen to it. Tabula Rasa by Bjork.
I don't feel very pretty. I really don't. I don't feel very pretty. A lot of boys like me though. I don't feel very pretty. I really don't. I don't feel very pretty. A lot of boys like me though. I like that. I like that. I thought you knew. How to be gentle. I thought you knew. like that.
Dang, thanks, y'all. On KALX, getting some positive nods from the crew, little hand raise. I feel supported, very supported. It's very different playing in a radio station opposed to a venue. I feel the energy. I feel the energy through the glass.
Wham there with the track Club Tropicana. That was not a live song because that was picked out by our KALX live musician of the night, Tricky FM.
Yes.
Why did you choose that song to play?
I love Wham. I love Wham. I love George Michael. I love that song Club Tropicana. I could go on and on about Wham, but I feel like I just really like that song. One, it's just a great track. It's super catchy. It's a great pop song. And also, I really enjoy hearing like the story about Wham and like why they made that type of music that they did. Because honestly, a lot of it's kind of like goofy, like Wake Me Up Before You Go Go. It's like, what? But it was so cool to hear that like they intentionally were making these like really goofy songs. And I feel like Club Tropicana was kind of like another example of like this really like jubilant pop song about living in like a paradise, but was actually what was going on like during the time that they made it politically was like really horrible. And you know, a lot of rock bands were making we're like making rock songs about like being really judgmental about like government and like society and like current situation, but then Wham is over here making a song about paradise. So I feel like there's a lot of conversation between like musicians of like, Wham, like, what are you doing? Like, you're making these like, you know, they're being criticized for not like criticizing their situation. But I think that could be like the really cool thing about pop music is that like it will talk in like hyperbole, but it's actually they're like kind of like, it's like kind of like a satire. Like their song is like isn't, you know, one side of it could be like, we are really talking about a song about paradise where the drinks are free and you can suntan. But if you like listen to it deeper, is it just like, are we just talking in hyperbole because we're like criticizing how discontent we are actually with our situation? Yeah, I really like that. I really like that with pop songs. Like with same thing with like Girls Just Want to Have Fun. Like, was she really just talking about girls really just want to have fun, or was she talking about how discontent she was about having her experience? And I feel like people that can like relate can kind of like hear through what they're saying. I could totally be projecting, but that's what I think is happening with Club Tropicana. It's actually a criticism of society at the time.
I love that read because I love pop music. I know we're at like an underground radio station right now, but I love pop music, and I particularly love 1980s bubblegum pop from South Africa.
Okay.
And I feel like it does what you're talking about because it was during the apartheid, and it was specifically made by the communities who were affected by the apartheid.
Yes.
And so there's this aspect of it though where it's like it is the most like uplifting pop music.
Yeah.
And it says so much about that time that they would be making that.
I love that. Is there a project that you particularly like from that genre, that era?
I mean, I love like all the like heavy hitter, like the most like in like they would be considered the most famous, but they're not necessarily super famous here. Like Sypho Hot Sticks Mabuse is awesome. Brenda Fassie. I love anything Brenda Fassie. Like she was Brenda and the Big Dudes.
Okay, cool.
I can show you some stuff after.
Sweet, yeah.
Yes, but I feel like it does so much of what you were just talking about, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And pop music is often like, yeah, like I feel like you identify as a form of pop.
Yeah. Sometimes I say experimental pop. Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like pop music just can be so limited. Like people limit it so much when it's the music that reaches the most people.
Yeah. And that's why I think, I really admire it because it does reach the most people. It is actually very smart and calculated and formulaic. And then whatever intention you have inserting into that you can cast your message to many people at once. This is a powerful tool.
Yeah, it's really powerful.
so long. The first kiss takes me so long. You know that you got you. Takes me so long. You know that you got your boys. Even if you were the good one. Takes me.
Thank you so much. KALX Berkeley.
All right, before we listened to Wham, we had a classic one from Joanna Newsom, Sprout and the Bean. I hadn't heard that in so long.
I love her.
Ultimate nostalgia.
I know. I'm glad you resonated. I was just like, let's do Sprout and the Bean. And you're just like, oh my God, classic. I was like, I know. Yeah, love Joanna. Also another super emotional lady. Sprout and the Bean was probably the first song I ever heard from her. I like
probably same.
Yeah. My friend showed me the video when I was like 14, and yeah, she has this like crazy voice. It sounds different now. I feel like something actually did happen like with her voice where she had to get surgery, and it's not as like it's not how it was in like her early albums. But yeah, I was like immediately drawn to that song. Yeah, it's just like a really sentimental song for me. And then I just continued to listen to Joanna for so long. And like, I feel like the way that I feel about her, she's so different from the music that I make, but I always kind of turn to her. She's so emotional, and she speaks in like all this like lore where she's talking about these like, it's like 12-minute songs talking about like a goose in a quarry or something, and you're like, what are you talking about? But you can like feel the sentiment of what she's talking about, or you can understand and feel the metaphor. Sometimes she could be like, yeah, talking about some type of prairie, but you're just like, oh, this is very sad. Like, this is about grief, or this is about, you know, unrequited love or something. You can like you can just like the sentiment really resonates through her music, which I really appreciate.
Yeah, and that's one of those things where it's like pulling as an influence from the storytelling aspect, not necessarily from all of the sonic aspects.
Yes, yeah.
But that's she's a great storyteller.
She is, yeah.
Yeah.
So.
All right, and then we started off with Bjork, Tabula Rasa. I feel like I'm pronouncing everything wrong. Yeah, which we already talked about.
Yes, we were corrected.
And we were corrected by a caller.
About what the definition means blank slate, right?
Yes.
Starting over.
So thank you for our KALX callers.
Thank you.
For being
I'm
our
always
checkers.
always open to learning.
Yeah.
Expanding.
But beautiful song.
Yeah.
I feel like I need to like enter my Bjork era still.
Yeah, I totally hear that. I honestly, she didn't hit for me for a while. I think I like understood her cultural influence when I was like a teenager and then my early 20s, but it wasn't like clocking for me. And then I eventually found some of the hits and I was like, oh, this is really cool. Like I really liked Hyper Ballad and I was like, this is one of my favorite songs, and I just kept on listening to that one. But honestly, it wasn't until like maybe 2 years ago where I was like, oh, and I really understood. And it just like, I definitely am a believer that certain things resonate with you at certain times in your life. And then, you know, sometimes you just try bands over because everyone likes them and you're like, it's not hitting for me right now. But then like maybe later something will happen. You're like, oh.
100%. Yeah, I think that can happen with books, movies,
yeah,
anything
too.
where like you rewatch it, you re-listen, and you're like, oh, this hits now.
This hits different. Or you'll like love it and then you'll watch it later and you're like,
this
would
does
not hit. What was I thinking? Yeah.
Who was I? Yeah, I look back at a lot of movies and I'm like, I was a film bro.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was like, oh, this is the coolest one.
Wait, name one. I'm curious.
Like, I feel like Fight Club is one that's kind of film bro-y.
Wait, I still love it though.
But I haven't watched it recently, but I think I still love it. Yeah.
It took me a second to realize that was supposed to be a satire. Like it's supposed to be a criticism on hypermasculinity. Like we're not supposed to idolize Tyler Durden. Mm-hmm. That took me a second.
Yeah.
And it's cool because it's like Chuck Palahniuk, who wrote it, is a gay man, and I feel like he wrote a story that criticized like stereotypical masculinity and what if we like made it ultra to the point where it was dangerous. I thought it was a really cool concept. I didn't realize maybe that's what he was doing, but I didn't realize that it wasn't just a story about cool Tyler Durden. And
wow, you just took it out of the film bro canon. That was
right? No, it was actually so like like you watch the trailer and you're like, oh, this is a film bro movie. But I feel like the intention is probably, you know, further. But I feel like so many movies are advertised that way to get a certain audience or something, because it's like a cool bro-y idea to be like, oh, it's like Fight Club and it's like Edward Norton looks great, you know. It's but yeah, it's actually I what I'm saying is you should watch it again.
I should. Yeah, I shouldn't. That one might not be, because I've read so many of his books too. I was like one of those high school kids that was like sitting in class 14 reading Choke. I'm like, I should not be reading this right now.
Wait, that was also me. Wait, oh, that's so fun. Why were we doing that?
I was like, there were definitely moments it's like, okay, it's 15 minutes to read now. And I like pull out Choke. I'm like, if my teacher looked over right now, they'd be like, you are expelled.
Wait, that is cracking me up. We had this very similar experience.
Yeah. So maybe I wouldn't want to say Fight Club like 100%. You know what movie though I have heard didn't hold up was Garden State.
Yeah.
Okay, because I was one of those kids in high school too. I was
Garden
like,
State.
oh, the Garden State soundtrack, and I heard that just like doesn't hit now.
The movie? Yeah, not really.
No, the soundtrack's still really good.
Soundtrack, great. The movie, I think I also rewatched it, and yeah, it doesn't hold up too much. It does that thing where it like takes a girl. It's
very
like the manic pixie dream. Yeah. But I don't know. We love Zach Braff. I love him.
Yeah,
I'll take it.
Yeah, he's likable.
Yeah.
All right, we digress. So again, this is KALX Live. You're here with Feel Good Weird hosting Tricky FM. It's like you're at home. You're on the FM airwaves here at KALX.
Tricky FM on FM.
Yeah, and Tricky played earlier, and that's why we're chatting right now. And I believe you have some shows coming up if anyone wants to see you live in the Bay Area.
Yes. October 6th, I'll be playing at Eli's in Oakland. Be a really cool show with Mirrored Fatality, Pride Month Barbie, really cool project from LA, and then Tricky FM, and then 36 Sasha will be DJing. That's in Oakland. If you want to see me in SF, I'll be playing at 4 Star Theater with Fit of Body on November 2nd. I'll also be at Bottom of the Hill October 23rd. Excited to finally play there with Aroma headlining. So it'll be fun. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great lineup of shows.
Yeah, I'm excited. I was not playing for like 2 months maybe. And then I played like a couple of shows recently, and I felt like Venom, like Spider-Man Venom, and I was like, oh, this feels good. Ready to do this again. Yeah.
I love that. Full transparency, all day today I was just playing the Spider-Man video game.
Wait, there's a video game?
Yeah, on PlayStation, remastered. If you know, you know. The mechanics are amazing. You're just like swinging through. So I feel like Spider-Man is like on my
Is it based,
radar right now.
which Spider-Man movie is it based off of?
I think it's technically, so like the second one is Miles Morales. That one's based off of the animated ones.
Okay.
It kind of just feels like generic Spider-Man.
Okay, just Spider-Man.
Yeah,
I
like
love
Peter
it.
Parker, Mary Jane. Yeah.
The classic. Yeah, just I love the Tobey Maguire ones. Those are like in
Those
my
are
heart.
classic.
Yeah. Those are
When he goes like super emo.
yes, I resonate with that a lot.
We could just turn this into a movie podcast.
We digress. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Okay, so say people were just spacing out when you were giving your upcoming show dates. Where can they go online to find you on social media, website, anything?
yes. My music is anywhere you can stream it. You can just type in Tricky FM on Spotify or Apple Music. I also have a Bandcamp, trickyfm.bandcamp.com. You can go to my website, trickyfm.com, where I have like a cool about me. Sometimes I sell merch. No, I do sell merch on there if you want to buy CDs or tapes. I also make chainmail jewelry, or if I have t-shirts on there, you can buy. Also, shout out to Cherub Dream Records, which is the label that I'm on, based in San Francisco, and has a great collection of other Bay Area artists that are seriously coming up, and all real heads listen to them. So yeah.
Yeah, honestly, really good lineup.
Yes, I'm stoked on them.
Yeah, we've had a couple. We had a Christina's Trip here on KALX Live. Now we've had you, Tricky FM on KALX Live. I feel like we want more Cherub Dream
More.
in the KALX zone. Well, thank you so much for coming out here and playing. I know that it can take a while to get from San Francisco to Berkeley, even if it's not technically that far.
I know. I had a great time. All of y'all are so all the cool heads are here. Everyone that wants to talk about music, and everyone was so friendly. Very positive experience.
Yeah, we've got a good crew. Shout out to the engineers tonight, to our video operator. It's a whole production.
It really
KALX
is.
Live.
Yeah. Super cool. I'll definitely rec some Cherub bands to come next.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.